One. Very good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to the valedictory session of our international webinar, Paleo Words, History, Heritage, and Horizons. Over the past sessions, we have journeyed together through the vast expanse of paleontology, from Darwin's evolutionary insights and India's dinosaurs to the power of microfossils, the historiography of Indian paleontology, and one session that we missed, which will be announced soon, the dates of which will be announced soon, that will specify the significance of invertebrate fossil assemblages. So each lecture that we have had so far has been a reminder that fossils are not merely remnants of the past, but living archives that shape our understanding of life, history, and heritage. So this gathering today is not just to conclude the webinar, but to celebrate the knowledge that we have exchanged so far, the discussions that we sparked, and the community of scholars, students, and enthusiasts who came together to make this event meaningful. So to begin this session, I now invite Mr. Mallikarjun Kenganal to give the welcome address for the valedictory gathering. Please, Mallikarjun, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you for addressing me. First of all, happy Teachers' Day to all. Under IQC initiative, BLD associations, Srimati Bangarama Sajjan, Arts, Commerce and Science College for Women, with auspicious collaboration with the history enthusiasts, jointly organized a 2 days international webinar on paleontology studies. Uh, for today's sixth session, very good evening to all. We are happy to see you all together here. Thank you for joining us here today, this valedictory function. I would like to welcome today's uh, resource person, Dr. Gaurav Srivastava sir, for addressing this valedictory function on the behalf of our principal and students and all the staff and teaching and non-teaching staff. I welcome you, sir. And another delegates, another resource person of this session, Dr. Vinay Kumar sir. I also welcome Dr. Vinay Kumar sir on the behalf of our college and principal and the all the students and the participants. I welcome you, sir. And I would like to extend a warm welcome to our respected honorary president of THE, Shri Nandan Shastri sir. On the behalf of our college and principal and students, I welcome you, sir. And I also extend my welcome to founder president and vice president Manali Momaya and Nidhi Katti for this valedictory function. I welcome you both. And I also welcome those who are joined online mode, all the participants and academicians and students for this valedictory function. We hope you all enjoy this international webinar and informative sessions, and that it turns out to be a great success of the this online mode, to be a great success and memorable one for all of us. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to welcome all of you. Thank you.
Pardon me. Thank you, Mr. Kenganal, for the warm welcome. As we look back on this enriching journey, it is important to take stock of the insights and discussions that we have shared over the past 2 days. To help us reflect on the intellectual breadth and depth of this webinar, we are honored to have with us Professor Vinay Kumar, Professor, Department of AIHC and Archaeology, Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi. I now invite Professor Vinay Kumar to kindly present a brief summary of the webinar, highlighting its key themes and takeaways. Over to you, Professor.
Good afternoon to all of you. And before I tell my experiences or summarize the summary of this webinar, this 2 day international webinar on the history of paleontological studies, which was organized under the joint auspices of the Department of History, BLDEA, Srimati Bangarama Sajjan Arts, Commerce and Science College for Women, Vijaypura, and the History Enthusiast Association, Karnataka. I would like to, it is my privilege and I am feel honored that I have been given this opportunity to express or to summarize the happenings which took place since last few days on the very important, pertinent topic of the history of paleontological studies in India, so or at the globe. So before I say you that, I would like to tell you that this paleontology, the study of ancient life forms through the fossil, has a rich and the fascinating history that spans centuries. And this history of the paleontological studies is a testament of the human curiosity and the pursuit of the knowledge. And from the early observation to the modern discoveries, paleontology continues to captivate the scientists as well as the public, alike offering insight into the ancient past and the evolution of the life on the earth. So, for this objective in our mind, we, the people of THE, organize this two-day this webinar, and in this so many lectures have been taken by the eminent scholars as well as the paleontologists as well as the archaeologists. So first session was this the lecture was taken by Professor Jere H. Lips. He was from the Charles. He talked upon the Charles Darwin natural selection and paleontology. He was from China, and he began by presenting an overview of the Charles Darwin's personal life, his voice on the Beagles as well as the Captain Fitzroy, and how these experiences shaped his ideas. So he traced Darwin's fieldwork across different parts of the world, where he observed the reefs, collected fossils, and studied the marine microfossils such as Foraminifera and the diatoms. And through these explorations, Darwin encountered fossil forests and diverse life forms that illustrated the long history of life on the Earth. Lips emphasized that the essence of the natural selection lies not in strength or the fierceness, but in successful reproduction and adaptation over the generation. The lecture elegantly connected Darwin's natural history observation with the paleontology, showing how fossils remain central to understanding the patterns and the process of the evolution. The second lecture was taken by Professor Ashok Sani. He talked on the Indian dinosaurs, dead but doing well. So he discussed India's dinosaurs record, beginning with the early fossil collectors like the William Henry Silman and Stephen Hislop, and he highlighted the fossils beyond the bones, such as the resin deposits in the Gujarat and the dinosaur footprints from the Bolivia, and explained majority evolutionary events like the Great Oxygen Event, which took place around 2.2 billion years ago. And Professor Sani also emphasized about the India's continental drift, Gondwana dinosaurs connections, and their unique traits as a massive body size, cold-blooded adaptation, and the feather development, showing that the dinosaurs were essentially advanced reptile. After this one, Professor Rajiv Nigam, he talked on the applied process of the microfossils with a special reference to the foraminifera, and he began his lecture by highlighting how global warming alters the oceanography, setting the stage for the role of the microfossils in understanding past and present changes. He explained the four main groups of the microfossils, focusing on the foraminifera, microscopic organisms that exist into two forms, that is the benthic as well as the planktonic, which is floating on the water surface. He addressed the three key questions of the paleoclimatic research also. So he talked about the why we should study the past climate, how to study it, and can we predict the future. So, by the application of the foraminifera, they were demonstrated through the sea level studies with examples from the Bet Dwarka, Ram Setu, Mahabalipuram, and the Lothal, as well as the sea level curve reconstructions. He emphasized their role in the paleo monsoon reconstruction, showcasing the collaborative work with the Professor Soiji Zhang of China. His talk also touched upon the commercial as well as the industrial prospects of the foraminifera, including the DNA studies. And the last lecture in this webinar series was taken by Professor Vijay Sathe, who talked on the paleontology through the ages in Indian perspective. In this session, highlighted the dynamic journey of the paleontology from its origin to its present Indian context. He began with the slogan, "More data, more technology, and more integration," that emphasized the importance of the interdisciplinary research, and the discussion touched upon the major issues such as the extinction of the megafauna in the late Quaternary, the last appearance of the several taxa in the Indian record, and the understanding of the evolution of the present-day cattle through fossil evidence. He traced the intellectual history of the paleontology from Aristotle's biological philosophy to the coining of the term paleontology in 1825 and the contribution of pioneers like Sir William Buckland and Sir Richard Owen, who introduced the term dinosaur. And placing this within an Indian framework, Professor Sathe reviewed how early colonial science under the Sea India Company created the groundwork for the paleontological studies in India. And he talked about the early beginning, the key discoveries, industry institutions, and the research, in which he highlighted about the importance of the Birbal Sahni Institute of Paleoscience. And he talked about that institute is a premier research center for paleobotany, vertebrate paleontology, as well as the other related fields, offering training program for the research scholars. He also talked about the various research areas like the Indian paleontologists are actively involved in studying the fossil records, ancient DNA, as well as the human environment interaction, contributing to our understanding of the region's rich paleontological heritage. He also talked about the various challenges as well as the future directions for the study of this particular phenomena. And he also talked about the last but not the least, he talked about the impact as well as the significance in terms of the understanding the evolution, reconstructing the ancient ecosystem, and informing the conservation effort. So this history of paleontological study, now we can easily understand through these lecture series that it is really a testament to our human curiosity and the pursuit of the knowledge. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Vinay Kumar, sir, who is also the member of the advisory committee of the history enthusiasts and our staunch supporter and well-wisher, for the thoughtful summary of our deliberations. We now come to the most awaited part of the session, the valedictory address. To introduce our distinguished valedictory speaker, Dr. Gaurav Srivastava, may I now invite Ms. Nidhi Katti, Vice President of the History Enthusiasts, Founder Vice President, to introduce Sir. Ms. Katti, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Manali. Thank you so much. So it's a pleasure to introduce Gaurav Srivatsav. He has done his PhD in 2008. From 2008 to 2011, Department of Botany, University of Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. So the title of the thesis was Paleofloristics of Northeast India and its implications based on Megar Mains, which was guided by Dr. R.C. Mehrotra. Uh, Under him, he completed his PhD. Dr. Gaurav Srivastav is a geoscientist specializing in paleoclimate reconstruction, sedimentary archives, and plant fossil records. His research focuses on climate and ecological changes during the late Cretaceous and Cenozoic, with a particular emphasis on Northeast India. In addition, he is actively working on several other fossil-rich sites across India to build a comprehensive understanding of regional and temporal climate evolution. His current research includes investigating the response of biota to hyperthermal events and exploring the origin and diversification of evergreen forests and biodiversity hotspots in South Asia. Dr. Srivatsav is engaged in national and international research collaborations and contributes to academic publishing, mentoring, and editorial activities, including guest editing special issues of reputed scientific journals. He is currently guiding one postdoctoral researcher, two PhD students, and supervising several MSc dissertation students. He has published 96 research papers with a Google Scholar index of 23 and 2426 citations, reflecting the impact and recognition of his scientific contributions. His research interests include paleobotanical reconstruction of past vegetation and climate using plant megafossils and paleontological data, evolution and diversification of angiosperms during the Cretaceous, uh, Paleogene and Neogene periods, monsoon evolution, and paleo-hydrological changes inferred from fossil plant assemblies. Uh, Paleobiogeography and floristic exchange patterns of the Indian subcontinent through uh, geologic time, fossil wood taxonomy and its implications for paleo environmental interpretations, responses of ancient vegetation to global climate events. These are some of his interests in which he continues research. Uh, he was employed in multiple organizations too, and currently, as some of them to be mentioned, scientist in Birbal Sahani Institute of Paleosciences, Birbal Sahani Institute of uh, from 2024. From 2012 to till now, he is working in this institute. BSRA, there he worked from 2012. Project assistant in the same institution, and of course, as a research scholar too, from 2005 to 2006 in the Department of Botany. University of Lucknow. The methodologies which he basically uses are plant megafossils used to infer past vegetation types, climate and ecological conditions, fossil wood anatomy employed to reconstruct paleo environment and paleo precipitation patterns, paleological data utilized for paleo vegetation and climate reconstructions, uh, clamp climate leaf analysis, multivariety program, multivariety statistical tool to derive paleoclimate data from leaf physiognomy. Um, he has been awarded with multiple honors. Some of them to be mentioned are President's International Fellowship from the Chinese Academy of Sciences, China, President's International Fellowship from the Chinese Academy of China, one in 2018 and another in 2019, Diamond Jubilee Medal 2018 from the Birbal Sahani Institute, and Sharada Chandra Memorial Gold Medal, Professor R.C. Mishra Gold Medal, Diamond Jubilee Medal from the Birbal Sahani Institute in 2014 again, Dr. B.S. Venkatachala Gold Medal from the Birbal Sahani Institute. These are some of them to be mentioned. So coming to the published works which he has done, the list is very huge. His biodata is very inspiring, including 16 to 20 pages, particularly. Some of the particular journals which for which he is a reviewer, I wish to mention here: Earth Science Review, Geology, Geoscience Frontiers, Global and Planetary Change, Plant Diversity, then Quaternary Research, Review of Paleobotany and Paleontology, uh, and Himalayan Geology, Current Science. These are some of them to be mentioned. He has attained more than 22 international national conferences, and to name his number of publications are 96. And as I already mentioned, the H index of Google Scholar is 23, and Google Scholar citations are 2426. He has published uh, multiple articles, research papers in national and international journals, and the number is pretty much huge. It is, as earlier mentioned, more than 96. and Gaurav Srivastava sir is a inspiration to young generation who are willing to involve in research, are planning to make their career in academics related to history, paleontology, and we are very happy to have Gaurav Srivastava ji today on the platform of the history enthusiasts. Thank you so much, sir, and we are very excited to listen to your words. Over to you, sir.
Extensive introduction for me. First of all, I would like to thanks to the organizer and especially to Nandan Shastri sir, who called me several times on my telephone, and unfortunately at that time I was driving, so I didn't pick the call. But later on we talked, and I was so happy at that time. So thank you very much for this. So uh, I'm new in this group, but when I attended the lectures, I'm really very much inspired, and uh, all the lectures were very thoughtful. And some I know Professor Ashok Sahani sir. He is very, you can say that he's a stalwart in our field. And I know Professor Sate sir. When I met him in 2023, I heard a lecture in Kashmir. And I know Professor Rajiv Nigam sir very well. So it's a pleasure for me and great honor to make a valedictory remark for all these stalwarts, Professor Lips too also. So it was and indeed a privilege to listen to the enlightening lecture of Professor J.R.H. Lips on Charles Darwin, natural selection, and paleontology. Professor Lips eloquently highlighted that Darwin, often remembered primarily as a biologist. I was also thinking the same, but after his lecture, when I heard that he was deeply involved in the geology, was in fact deeply rooted in geology during his formative years. While engaged in geological survey, Darwin encountered several significant fossils which profoundly shaped his scientific outlook. The lecture emphasized that Darwin's theory of natural selection was fundamentally based on the principles of diversification, explaining how some organisms evolved and flourished, while many others did not. Professor Lipp's insight beautifully illustrated the interconnection between geology, paleontology, and evolutionary biology, reminding us of Darwin's holistic vision of life and nature. Particularly fascinating were the glimpses of Darwin's voyage on HMS Beagle, where his studies of fossil and coral reefs, the remarkable fossil forest in Andes, and even a fossil mollusk from the Galapagos Islands became cornerstones in the shaping his evolutionary thinking. Professor Lips also painted a vivid portrait of Darwin as a person, noting his good humor, gentlemanly conduct, and a passion as a naturalist and geologist, along with his diverse interests such as riding and shooting. These qualities not only made Darwin a pioneering scientist, but also a well renowned personality admired by his peers. In closing, we express our heartfelt gratitude to Professor Lips for his memorable lecture, which not only deepened our appreciation of Darwin's scientific contributions, but also reminded us of the timeless dialogue between fossils, rocks, and living world. His words have left us inspired to look at paleontology not merely as a study of the past, but as a key to understanding the future of life on Earth. Professor Ashok Sahni, it is really a privilege that I am reading about his talk. Professor Sahni presentation was both enlightening and inspiring, offering a deep exploration of Indian dinosaurs. He vividly explained the development of dinosaurs, embryos within eggs, and displayed the diversity of both herbivorous and the carnivorous species through their fossil eggs. His discussion on coprolites, rich in plant remains, opened a rare window into the dietary habits and ecology of these ancient creatures. And personally, I know this coprolite, the association of plant remains in the coprolite, because several years back, I think in 2005, one paper published by Dr. Vandana Prasad and other collaborators about the grasses from the late Cretaceous. That was a remarkable discovery, and that discovery was somehow related to the views of Professor Sahni about the coprolite. So, concluding with the debate on dinosaur extinction, whether driven by massive volcanism or asteroid impact, Professor Sahni skillfully connected global events with the Indian fossil record. His lecture not only highlighted India's rich paleontological legacy, but also reflected his pioneering contributions that has shaped our understanding of dinosaurs in Indian's subcontinent. For Professor Rajiv Nigam, it's my privilege to present the valedictory note for today's enlightening lecture delivered by Professor Rajiv Nigam. Though his vast expertise, he has shown us how tiny marine organisms, that is foraminifera, hold enormous significance in understanding both our past and our future. Professor Nigam began by reminding us of a fundamental truth: the past is the key to the future. He introduced us to the fascinating world of foraminifera with nearly 40,000 known species, all exclusively marine, occurring in both benthic and planktic forms. Benthic are those which live in the deep ocean, and the planktic which are on the surface. What may appear as microscopic shells to the untrained eye are, in fact, powerful tool for science and society alike. The applications he highlighted are far reaching, from their use in petroleum exploration to tracking monsoon variation, from supporting fisheries to reconstructing paleotsunamis. With examples from Chilka Lake and Pulicat Lake, foraminifera have proven indispensable. They also help in understanding sea level changes, paleoclimate, and even in domains as diverse as marine archaeology and pollution monitoring. Equally inspiring was his emphasis on how these microfossils can serve as an instrument of public awareness, bridging the gap between complex science and everyday understanding. In closing, we are deeply grateful to Professor Nigam for not only sharing his scientific knowledge, but also for igniting our curiosity and appreciation for these remarkable organisms. His lecture has underscored how microscopic life can illuminate microscopic changes, offering insights for sustainable development, climate resilience, and heritage preservation. On the behalf of all present, I extend our heartfelt thanks to Professor Nigam for an excellent and thoughtful provoke lecture. And from my experience, I can say that foraminifers are not only limited for the quaternary paleoclimate or climate. It is also used for the reconstruction of paleogene and the neogene climate. They are very helpful to understand the sea surface temperature or the deep oceanic temperature during the hyperthermal events. So all we what know today about the hyperthermal events are mainly based on the reconstruction on the foraminifera. So the study of foraminifera really very important. So now I'm coming to for Professor Vijay Sate sir. When I met him in 2023, so it is my honor to present the valedictory note for the deeply insightful lecture delivered by Professor Vijay Sate on paleontology through the ages Indian perspective. His talk has taken us on a journey through the interactions of ecology, migration, extinction, and the role of humans in shaping the fate of animals, issues that remain just as relevant today as in the past. By drawing attention to diet, death, evidence of human activity, and the man animal relationship, Professor Sathe highlighted the complexity of interactions that define the story of life on Earth. He emphasized how natural historians of the post Renaissance era inspired subsequent generations of philosophers, biologists, and geologists, and how their inquiries gradually shaped the scientific approach we rely upon today. In the Indian context, he traced the establishment of modern paleontological research, acknowledging the pioneering contributions of Sir Richard Ledker, Dr. H.F. Osborne, Dr. E. Colbert and Dr. Guy Pilgrim, who laid the foundation for his discipline in the subcontinent. Equally noteworthy was his discussion on the three stages of paleontological development: the classification of animals, anatomical and morphological comparisons between living and extinct species, and the intercorporation of geological time to reveal the Earth's antiquity. The historical milestone he recounted, such as Stephen Hislop's discovery of coprolites in Pisdura in 1850, and the fossil finds from the Narmada and Godavari basins, stands as enduring landmark in India's scientific heritage. Professor Sathe also reminded us of the broader historical exchanges between Europe and the East during 19th century, which fostered the growth of paleontological studies in India and connected local discoveries with the global narrative of science. In closing, we express our deepest gratitude to Professor Sathe for delivering such a thoughtful, provoking lecture. His ability to weave together history, science, and human context has enriched our understanding of paleontology, reminding us that the discipline is not just about fossils, but about reconstructing the intertwined story of nature and humanity. So, on behalf of everyone present, I extend our sincere thanks to Professor Sathe for his memorable and inspiring lecture. So,
Uh, Thank you very much, sir. So, before we end the webinar, so from your side, any message for the young researchers who are hoping to enter into the field of paleontology or geology or archaeogeology or any of those related subjects? So, what do we have to keep in mind?
uh, yes, there are lots of opportunity. First of all, I'm coming to the Professor Sahni's lecture about the controversy which is still present nowadays, and it's a very long controversy how the dinosaurs became extinct. What was the main reason why, when they ruled several millions years on Earth, and they abruptly became extinct? How? What was the climatic factor? So one school of thought, they say that it's a meteoritic impact, and the second school of thought says that it's a volcanic eruption. But still there is a debate. What was the physiological changes that they faced and didn't cope with that, and they became extinct, is still a matter of debate. So it's a good, if anyone wants to do research on Deccan trap and particularly on the dinosaurs, it's a lot of opportunity. Second one is by Professor Nigam sir lecture about the foraminifera. Its application is very wide. Uh, Despite along with the, you can say that along with the quaternary applications of forums, in deep time also forums have a large applications, like understanding the sea surface temperature or the deep oceanic temperature from equator to pole. And as I am presently working on the hyperthermal events, so we have data from marine as well as from the continental sediments. But from the marine sediments, we have plenty of data only from the forums. What we know today about the deep oceanic temperatures is only because of the forums. So the research on forum is still has a very vast applications, not only in the deep time research, but also on the archaeological sites, to understand the sea level changes and the monsoon fluctuations. And about the lecture of Professor Sathe sir about the archaeology and about the prehistoric animals, like in the quaternary, there are still several debate about the extinction of several, you can say, the cultural sites, how they several, like you can say, Harappa how they became extinct, why they migrated. Mainly the climatic factor or several other factors were responsible for all these. So there are so many things which we have to do, but we need some more researchers. Plenty of scopes are there. If young researchers came in this field and just uh, try to think why all these changes, some became extinct and some became survived. What were the factors, single factor or the multiple factor? So all these things which I want to say. Thank you so much, Manali.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much for opening up the arena of opportunities that students have in the field of paleontology, and why it is such an interesting and happening field right now, and why we should focus on solving these mysteries. So there is a lot of scope. Thank you for highlighting that, sir. And it has been a wonderful webinar so far. And the valedictory speech was a perfect summing up of the entire webinar and all the lectures, and what takeaways we have from each and every scholarly discussion that we have had so far in this webinar. So, thank you very much, sir, Dr. Gaurav Srivastava, sir. And it is really a fitting conclusion to our sessions and a forward-looking perspective for paleontological studies and their historical significance. Before going, if there are all five of us here, so if anybody wants to add anything in this context before we end the webinar formally, I request if anyone has something to add, kindly say.
During the current year 2025, this is the seventh webinar on paleontology which I am attending. So, in global perspective, I will within a minute try to express my view. Paleontology in the 21st century is defined by a shift from a descriptive science to an integrative discipline driven by new technologies and better understanding of molecular biology, developmental biology, and ecological processes. New horizons include the use of advanced imaging and molecular techniques for detailed analysis of fossils. The integration of the phylogenetic and development data and the application of paleontological knowledge to the contemporary issues of conservation and climate change. While challenges such as funding and commercialization persist, innovative methods are leading to unprecedented insights into Earth's history and its relevance to the modern world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Gaurav, sir, do you have anything to add to this?
I'm really very much inspired by the last line of Professor Lips when he emphasized that try to discover more and more things rather than disproving the hypothesis or disproving the theories. That most of the physicists are now involved in disproving the theory of Einstein, and just they just want Nobel Prize. So this is not the way that science may develop. So he emphasized that try to discover more and more things, and not to their way, but what is true in science. Just publish what is truth in the science. I'm really very much inspired by all his words, his last words when he was presenting the lecture. So in this way we are working, and I also emphasize these things to my students also. Try to publish those things which are truly looking, not just give any extra other things like in publications. Another thing, what I'm working on the fossils, plant fossils. When in 2007, when I saw first fossil, which was around recovered from the sediments. It was from 25 million years back fossil. what I was thinking, that it gives me a direct evidence that I was alive back 25 million years back. I was alive. So it's a direct evidence. So you have to just decode all these evidences. So it's a very fascinating science, and is I can say that there's plenty of scope for the career in this science. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Vinay Kumar, sir, do you have anything to add before we say goodbye? Sir, you are on mute.
So, as sir has rightly pointed out, I would like to add something regarding the challenges as well as the future direction in this field of paleontological studies. So we have to emphasize more on the interdisciplinary this studies as well as because we know that in India it is becoming very increasingly right now, and many students are opting this field as their career, and they have incorporated this insights from the field of biology as well as from geology, ecology, as well as the other fields to better understand the region's fossil record. And for this, we have to give more emphasis on the conservation as well as the education. So efforts to conserve as well as to educate the public about the India's paleontological heritage are crucial for promoting the awareness as well as the appreciation in this field. And for this, we have to emphasize on the computational paleontology, that is the use of the computational models to stimulate in the mind of the people to analyze the fossil data. And for that, we have to do for the fossil preservation also. So advances in the preservation technique have enabled us the study of this soft tissue fossil and ancient DNA, which many scholars have talked upon. So interdisciplinary research is the need of the hour. We have to do that one, and then only we can have a great impact as well as the significance of the studies of this paleontological research in India. Thank you, Panaliji.
Thank you very much, sir. So we have officially come to the end of the webinar, and before inviting Nandan sir to propose the vote of thanks, I would just like to mention that we have uh, put the feedback form link in the comment section. All the participants may access it from there. Your feedback is very valuable to us because it helps us to not only understand and be happy about what we did right, but also to know and to correct what we did wrong. So definitely give us your valuable feedback, and also you will be provided certificates based on your registration. So please be patient for that. Until then, uh, do subscribe to our channel for notifications of future such events. And now, coming to the end of this webinar, I now request Shri Nandan Shastriji, Honorary President of the History Enthusiasts, to propose the vote of thanks.
It is a good coincidence that today's valedictory function is held on the Teachers' Day. First of all, I would like to thank the Institute BLDE Association Simat Mangrawa Sajan Arts, Commerce and Science College for Women, Vijaypur, for collaborating with our history enthusiast group, and specifically for this valedictory function. uh, I express my deep sense of gratitude to both uh, Dr. Vinay Kumar as well as Dr. Gaurav Srivastava. Uh, and I wholeheartedly thank the entire team, including Monali Momaya and Nidhi Katti, who has spent a lot of uh, since past 1 month for organizing this webinar, and the college authorities and the teachers involved from Vijaypura side also. And I thank also the all the attendees who are attending this valedictory function. Uh, Thanks to all.
Thank you very much, sir. And personally, on behalf of myself, again, I thank all the research scholars, all the resource persons who have enriched our knowledge on paleontology, and the valedictory speaker and Dr. Vinay Kumar, sir, who summarized us the lectures for us today. So, thank you very much to everyone, and to Nandan, sir, who has always been the guiding spirit for us and always forever present with us. So, thank you very much, Nandan, sir. And I would also like to mention here that one lecture that we missed of Dr. Aarti Deshpande Mukherjee, which is on the invertebrate fossil assemblage. We will be holding it soon as part of this webinar, but because of due to some unforeseen circumstances, it had to be postponed, and we will announce the date soon. So do stay tuned for that. Thank you very much. So we take leave from you all here, and hoping to see you all soon on something very much exciting and with the same enthusiasm again. Thank you. Thank you.
So much. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
See
Thank
you
you so
all.
much. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.